you guys? Welcome to the February 8th edition of NBA 3-Ball, presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher. Getting ready to talk about some Sunday matinee NBA action. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl. And let's start with the news and trade. Tom Thibodeau getting the band back together with Derrick Rose heading to the Knicks. Dennis Smith Jr. coming to the Pistons. Tibbs has half of his gang with Taj Gibson, and maybe he'll get Joakim Noah and Luol Deng. We'll see. But let's start with the Pistons side. Knicks played it. I'll talk about them a little bit. But good spot for Dennis Smith Jr., right? I mean, you really couldn't pick a better spot with DeLon right ahead of him. DeLon, we saw him play 46 minutes in the last game, double OT, but he has just a firm grasp on this starting job, obviously going from Derrick Rose behind him, who was sitting a lot, to Dennis Smith Jr. is a nice boost to DeLon's value, too. But yeah, I mean, Dennis Smith Jr., sure. I mean, if you're in a deep league and you need a point guard, could do worse. This guy, he's got a ton of talent. His rookie summer league was insanely impressive. Just hasn't been able to put it together. Hasn't really got his shot to click. But we'll see if he can kind of do anything with this new role. And we'll see if there's other Pistons who could be on the move as they continue to try to look ahead and possibly hunt the number one pick. To the Knicks side of it, obviously the big news here is Emmanuel Quickley. His minutes could be kind of in jeopardy here. We saw him previous two games lose a lot of playing time to Elfrid Payton, who had just dream matchups. Elfrid didn't have a good game against Miami today. They got Quickley a little bit more playing time. But yeah, now he's going to have to compete with Elf and Rose. Maybe Rose plays some two to eat into Austin Rivers' time. But this is obviously not great news for Quickley. And of course, maybe Elfrid Payton gets traded eventually. But the trade deadline's not until the 25th of March. So it could be a while before they unload him. But yeah, again, the headline here is Quickley could be on thin ice and possibly droppable. We'll see. And we saw Brendan Clarke miss Saturday with a calf injury. Doesn't sound serious, but interesting. They started Xavier Tillman at the 4. Jonas Valanciunas made his return, came off the bench, and after the game, Taylor Jenkins said that JV's minutes will, quote, go up and up and up. So could probably expect him to get closer to 28, 29, 30 today. Well, obviously, Gorgie Jang would suffer there, but Tillman looks like he could maybe still maintain value as we wait for Jaren Jackson, and then if Clarke misses more time. But they certainly want to play Xavier Tillman, and should also note that Grayson Allen returned, and he really cut into D'Anthony Melton and Desmond Bane a little bit. So this could be real tough because we know Jenkins, he really wants to play Grayson Allen whenever he can, so it could be a mess. To the Cavs, grand opening, grand closing for Larry Nance Jr. hurt his wrist, and now he fractured his finger, so he is out 4 to 6 weeks. Terrible news for him. And yeah, I mean, Kevin Love's coming back soon. He's starting to do some on-court work, so maybe at some point this month he'll be back out there. But until then, we'll see Taurean Prince get back in the starting lineup, open up more run for Cedi Osman and Lamar Stevens, who J.B. Bickerstaff really talked up in the Kawhi game. He said he defended Kawhi really well. But yeah, no Nance. More rebounds for Drummond. Maybe we see a little bit more of that double big lineup used in certain spots, but certainly not enough to get you too excited about it as they want to, quote, diversify Andre Drummond's touches right now. Moving to the basketball action here as the Jazz get the win in Indy without Mike Conley with hamstring tightness. This is not the same hamstring that he had last year that cost him a lot of time. It was the left one last year, right one this time. Did have a mid-January hamstring issue that was minor, so just kind of keep an eye on it. Should be fine, but obviously Joe Ingles starting and really benefiting here with playing time. Struggled with his shot today, that's fine. But Jordan Clarkson also seeing a little bit more opportunity. And then Donovan Mitchell almost dropped a triple-double. Certainly he will see more assist opportunities with more ball handling chances going his way. Not much to say on the Pacers as they struggled offensively. Good start for Jeremy Lamb, but didn't really have anything in the second half. And also noteworthy that Karis LeVert's doctor had mentioned he's looking at possibly 8 weeks. So that's somewhat noteworthy. But it also, they did add that they haven't made a decision yet if he'll return this season, so I have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, this rotation, really after the key guys, is kind of messy. We know Nate Bjorkgren will really mix it up if you wanted to go guard heavy or run a little bit bigger like he kind of did today with more Doug McDermott, who was getting to the basket again. He continues to really crush off ball with cutting, so he's found playing time here as Jeremy Lamb. It's kind of a little hit or miss, and then Justin Holiday is starting to come back to earth a little bit too. Just a couple things to add on the Knicks as we saw Taj Gibson basically fill in for Nerlens Noel in a straight 10-man rotation. Alec Burks got it going a little bit, and that really cut into R.J. Barrett big time. Probably a little fluke there, but Derrick Rose coming certainly doesn't make anything any cleaner. Reggie Bullock just red hot from three, hitting 7 threes. To also take Austin Rivers, kind of cut him down a little bit too. And then I mentioned quickly, got a little bit more playing time this time, but certainly discouraging going forward with Rose in the mix. Moving to the Heat as they get the win at the Garden with Kendrick Nunn in the starting lineup. And after the game, Eric Spoelstra said that he liked how it was, quote, familiar to have Nunn in the starting lineup. Don't forget, much like last year, when he was a rookie, he started while Hero was coming off the bench. Hero, coming off the bench, we saw it the last game and then today. It's not a bad thing. Had a pretty good game today, and then after the game, Spoelstra said, quote, Tyler's going to play starters minutes regardless. And that's true, So he'll still be fine. Kelly Olynyk continues to play so-so, not thriving like he was kind of early when he was named a starter. But the starting lineup has been pretty solid overall. The Heat obviously need to win games, so hopefully they can get on a little run here to compete for maybe a playing spot, maybe more if they get real hot. Oh boy, Wizards. After the game, Bradley Beal said nobody's happy. And this team, man, their defense is just so bad. Scott Brooks starts Alex Len, then pulls him in the second half for Mo Wagner, who didn't play against the Miami matchup. And then also, Denny Avdija also got pulled for Davis Bertans, as he is just grasping for straws. Avdija, he's been kind of on thin ice. Brooks kind of mentions how he's getting better and so on, but he's mentioned he's not exactly safe. So we'll see if he can hold it. He was kind of going to get going here, as Robin Lopez had a little bit of an impact in the second half. But this is just such a mess here as Raul Neto returns, and also Russell Westbrook hasn't played in a back-to-back yet, so you would assume he is out for Monday to possibly put Raul Neto in the first unit. Easy win for the Hornets as they get P.J. Washington back from his foot sprain. No Devontae Graham. Don't know how much time he's going to miss with that groin injury. And we saw Terry Rozier start again, and they went in a more traditional lineup with Washington back. They went 3 guards in the last game before Graham got hurt. And Borrego said they kind of wanted to look at that lineup. So obviously without Graham, they had to go back to their more traditional lineup. Something to keep an eye on. But very noteworthy that Miles Bridges still played 31 minutes. He's definitely going to benefit while Graham's out. Malik Monk also really benefits here too, as he locks down the primary backup guard role. And he's played pretty well. He's been up and down as a shooter. Obviously that Miami game where he was burying 9 triples was probably going to give him a little bit of a leash here. But Borrego likes him. He says he's kind of doing the work. That was kind of his thing coming into this season was, does this guy care enough when the game's on, practicing, and we talk about practice, but Malek looks to be, on the good side of James Borrego. Celtics missing Jaylen Brown as they went super small with Carson Edwards getting the start. He got roasted by Devin Booker in the early going. Kemba struggled with his shot. He's been kind of up or down, but the usage has been really good for him as they certainly missed Jaylen Brown. Grant Williams got another start. Been playing pretty well. Certainly will lose playing time once Jaylen Brown's back. Sounds like he has a good shot to play on Tuesday, according to the team. Peyton Pritchard also has really been benefiting, had a couple big shots late in this game, and Jason Tatum still continues to really just run the offense and just continues to crush on the stat sheet as expected. Suns get a big win. They win it with defense, but Booker was really good, flirted with a triple-double, and he chalked it up to having the crowd there. He said that kind of gave him some energy. Booker's been pretty disappointing to this point, but we could see him get hot. Certainly, there's a couple things to his game that haven't really lined up to previous years, so he may start to heat it up here, possible buy low. Cam Johnson, interestingly, played 27 minutes after Monty Williams said he wanted to keep him between 20 and 24. He kind of had a wrap on him 2 games ago, so he looked great as Kaminsky got another start, and it sounds like they want to kind of keep him there. They played really well in that starting lineup with the double bigs next to DeAndre Ayton. Mikal Bridges, really good offensive game from him, and he guarded Jason Tatum on the other end, so impact to win the game for him. And yeah, just a good win for the Suns. Not too much on the late game. Let's just talk about some ads here. And Kendrick Nunn, he's over the 25% we'd like to do, but 31% still pretty low. He should be picked up. Goran Dragic, don't forget. Spoelstra said they're going to kind of manage his minutes when they get bodies back. So now they got Nunn, they got Hero, and Butler still missing Avery Bradley, which is not insignificant because Nunn could fill some of his minutes in multiple guard lineups. So yeah, I like Nunn as a pickup right now. Malik Monk mentioned Devontae Graham is going to be out. I certainly prefer Miles Bridges. If he's out there in your league, he's not available in any league I'm in. But yeah, Malik Monk, earning playing time. Coach has his blessing, so he looks like he's okay. Frank Kaminsky, kind of an interesting ad as this big lineup's been effective. It worked today. It looked really good in the last game against Blake Griffin and Dennis Smith Jr. also to round out the pickups here. Worth a shot, young point guard. Maybe he could resurrect his career with a change of scenery narrative, but he has talent, and so Delon Wright maybe won't play 30 minutes, and maybe he can get Dennis Smith, 20, 22 minutes, maybe more. And we know DeLon could play some too. So there's paths to him getting value. So that's going to do it. Catch you next time.